Real Virginia is produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Farming, it's all good. Visit our website at vafarmbureau.org.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Hello everyone and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce all of the wonderful products we enjoy.
Find out why farmers are working not only in their fields, but on the web. We take you into the kitchen for a springtime favorite dish using lamb, and we'll travel to Giles County, Virginia to see why these students love learning in wide open spaces.
Welcome back everyone. We're here on a beautiful dairy farm in Dinwiddie County, and the farm owners here believe in the power of social media marketing. And as Dave Miller reports, some farmers will tell you a keyboard and a mouse are just as important as a tractor.
Whether it's assisting with planting row crops and distributing fertilizers or tracking dairy cows' milk production, computers are in daily use on the farm. So when farmers speak, social media is a natural way to get the word out.
I actually run two Facebook pages. One is for the farm, for Richlands Dairy Farm, and I use that to let people know kind of just what's going on the farm. I also use it, we started a pumpkin patch and corn maze this last fall, so as a way to tell customers, you know, we're open today, these are our hours. But also let people know how much work goes into dairy farming and what life is like on the dairy farm. So, and then the second one that I run is for Dinwiddie Young Farmers, and that one I spend a little more time on because I use that to help educate people about agriculture as a whole.
Many farmers believe the public has very little understanding of what it takes to farm successfully in today's economic climate. They're consistently battling old stereotypes, the way things on the farm used to be. Virginia Farm Bureau young farmers want the public to know that things have changed on the farm in a good way.
I mean, one thing that I do try to do through my Facebook page is tell the story of agriculture, give it a genuine face. And so I would say that for me, utilizing social media and being able to do that, to tell my story and tell other farmers' stories, is huge.
Other farmers find that social media is a great way to connect with their customers. Jonathan Cavan raises beef cattle, burley tobacco, and about 15 acres of fresh market vegetables in Lee County in the far southwestern tip of Virginia.
I've had a personal Facebook account for years, and this was sitting there on the couch one night and decided, let's try one for the farm. And about 30 minutes later, one was set up for the farm, and we have an administrator set up on it on the farm to where there's only certain people that can access it and certain things can go on it. But it was very simple to do, and it's been a very good tool for us to use for our commodities. Social media is a tool that we all can use. Where I'm at, I'm in a very rural area, but I can be able to stand on my platform and educate people that are miles and miles away that I never can see every day. So if I take that as a platform, I'll say maybe that they can just, we all can realize it's a way we can communicate our ideas to other people all around the globe.
All types of farming operations can benefit from social media. College Run Farms in Surry County has thousands of followers on their Facebook pages.
We are a pick-your-own farm, and so we have customers who come and pick strawberries, blueberries, pumpkins, and other vegetables. So for us, actually, Facebook is probably our primary marketing tool. It is the best way for us to communicate information with our customers about our hours of operation, what might be available every day for picking, pricing, all of that sort of thing. So we really heavily rely on Facebook, and we have grown our following over the years, and we have about 4,500 people who will look at our Facebook page. We have a website as well, which we keep updated, but I really do feel like people rely mostly on our Facebook page.
Just like growing crops or raising livestock require adapting to change, so does social media. Some young farmers are now making their own videos to have a greater impact on viewers.
I recently posted a video about a snow day on the farm because people were asking me, hey, how are the cows doing in the cold and the snow? So I thought, I'll make a video. So I made a video and posted it, and Within a day, over 1,000 people had watched it. It had been shared something like 26 times.
This is Coley Jones from Richlands Dairy Farm, and as you can see, it's a snowy day here in Southside, Virginia. So one of the first things I do when I get here in the morning is check this group. They're the ones that I'm expecting to calve in the next 2 to 3 weeks or so. So since I know the weather's been bad, we've been bringing them in at night. So, and then last thing I do before I go home is walk through and see if I think anybody's going to calve.
Videos, I think, are a real good way to be able to connect consumers. Pictures are nice, but it's just a picture. I mean, who are you? You're just another person. But through videos, you get to hear me, you get to see me. I can show you my farm, I can show you how the cows are doing. So videos are a very important part of what I do to help educate people about agriculture.
Whether it's to sell produce or explain modern farm practices, the good news is farmers now have the tools to tell their own story to the public through social media. And these young farmers believe this role will only grow in years to come. From Dinwiddie County, this is Dave Miller.
The growing spread of broadband internet is viewed as essential to the growth of rural economies and is coming fast. Broadband networks are being built all along U.S. Route 58 and other areas. Farmers can still use satellite connections to reach the internet, and some rural electric cooperatives are now offering high-speed access through wireless connections. The rise of the smartphone in recent years has also helped. Now, anywhere you can get a strong cell phone signal, you can usually get high-speed access as well.
Hi, I'm Mark Viet. Coming up on In the Garden, I'm going to talk about what you can do to prepare your soil for planting. Stay with us.
The farm has been in the family for 134 years. This has been my home. It's the only thing I've known.
Growing up on a dairy farm was great. You've got all the opportunities to have fun in the wide open spaces and enjoy working with the crops and the cattle, and it was a good way of growing up. I really enjoyed it.
I believe that the family farm is important in this country, no matter if it's 50 cows or 5,000 cows. A lot of the family farms consume their own products, and they realize the importance of having a good, healthy product.
I am proud that our family and all of us here at this farm at Walkup can be involved in producing nutritious milk for the society. I'm Dan Myers, a fifth-generation dairy farmer from Virginia. I am dedicated to dairy, my cows, my milk, and my land.
Spring is the perfect time to improve your soil in your garden, so as Mark Viet says, before you put your first transplant in, be sure to prepare for a great growing season in the garden.
When plants die in your garden, what do we all do? We blame ourselves. I have to tell you, it's not your fault if plants die in the garden. What I find is many of us are dealing with imperfect soils, heavy wet soils, clay soils, or soils that have been compacted by bulldozers, heavy equipment, to the density that's harder or thicker than concrete. And so our plants don't thrive. But there are a lot of things that we can do to improve our soils. If you have poor soils, within 3 years, you can have a perfect environment that will help your plants grow year after year after year. Be it trees, shrubs, flower gardens, annuals, or vegetables. There are a couple easy steps that you can do right in the beginning that'll ensure your success. I always like to have a nice, loose soil. So let's look at some of these things that will give you that environment for your plants. Have you ever heard a $10 hole for a $2 plant? Well, there's a reason for that saying. It's really important that you prepare the soil even before you think about what kind of plant goes where, because that's the most important factor. A lot of us are dealt with a given soil like this, which, you know, these make great mud balls. You know, they don't crumble, they make nice round balls, and if you actually threw this against a block building, it would stick to it. That really isn't healthy for a plant environment. What you really want is soil that crumbles, and when you work the soil, it's important that it's not too wet, because once you do work your soils and you compact them, it could take 5 years or longer for air and water to penetrate that hard pan that you created within your garden. We have taken all the soils around the home that were like this, heavy clay, in some areas very red clay. You really had a hard time digging, and we have made those soils now look like this. And there's a couple things that you can do. You can add compost, you can add organic fertilizers, and you're also going to have to get a workout. Watch this. Are you ready for your workout? It's this simple. Just take organic matter, and if you have your own compost pile, that's great. I suggest about 2 inches of organic matter over an area that you're planting. In addition to that, use an organic fertilizer like Plantone. Always read the label directions. I also like to use a mineralizer like green sand. And the term double dig is you're going to dig it twice. By putting it on first, I'm going to mix it in by doing this. And you just work the soil. Two times. Then you're going to go deeper. And you can see some of that clay coming up. And I'm digging down to about 10 to 12 inches deep, probably deeper than a rototiller. Once you're done, you're ready to plant and enjoy your flowers, trees, shrubs, and vegetables for many years to come. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.
There's nothing like a tasty rack of lamb for a special event. Carissa Jackson shows us how easy it is to prepare this dish in the heart of the home.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
There are about 85,000 head of sheep and lambs in the Old Dominion. Sheep and lamb are not a major livestock sector in the state, but in the western parts of Virginia, they're a popular choice for farmers with smaller pastures. The number of sheep farms has grown in recent years, up to 2,315. More than half of the farms have between 1 to 25 head on the land, while about a third have flocks of up to 99 head. But sheep and lamb sales are still important for some local farmers. The total value of sheep, lamb, goat, and wool sales in Virginia is about $11.6 million.
There's lots of spring holidays where lamb is the featured dish. Carissa Jackson shows us how easy it is to prepare a rack of lamb in the heart of the home.
Hi, I'm Carissa Jackson, cooking at the kitchen at Meadow Hall at the Meadow Event Park. Today I'm going to be making one of my favorite Easter time dishes, and that is a rack of lamb. So what we're going to start with is 1 rack of lamb. Depending on how large you want yours, I chose to go for Farmers Market organic lamb, which tend to be a little smaller than what you would find in your supermarket because they are farm fresh and raised, and then they're shipped off to the farmers market. So the first thing that I'm going to teach you to make is the marinade for the lamb. You can choose to marinate your lamb for up to 2 hours or to 24 hours prior to you making your lamb. One of the awesome things about lamb is that you can season it with almost anything, whatever your favorite seasonings are. So what I'm going to first start off with is 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. And this is one of those recipes where you use your hands because this is more of a rub and you just want to massage everything into the meat. I have it fat side down on my plate. But what will happen is in reverse, when we cook it, we're going to cook it fat side up in the oven. We do that because all of the moisture from the fat tends to start dripping down into the meat, and it makes it very tender and juicy. Here we have 1 tablespoon of garlic and herb seasoning. One tablespoon of oregano. 1 teaspoon of garlic salt. And then you'll see here that we just have about a full tablespoon of minced onions. And what I use this for is when we're putting it in a marinade, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in foil, or you can just put it in some saran wrap, and you wanna add your onions to it just to soak in that flavor, but we're not actually gonna cook the onions when we make the lamb. One of the recipe saving tips and time saving tips that you can do is go ahead and start to cover the parts of what is considered the lamb lollipops where you hold them at with aluminum foil. The reason we do this is to prevent them from breaking when it's time for you to eat them, and for them not to overburn while you are cooking them. So we basically just want to create a little pocket with the aluminum foil and then close it up really tight around the bottom. This time of year, lamb can be found in your farmer's market. This is typically a meat that is raised in the mountains of Virginia, and it is very tender. You can really actually find it all year long, but you just have to know where to look for it. So we're gonna go ahead and continue to wrap the bottom of our lamb lollipops, and then we will be back to sear it and then put it in the oven. All right, so now that we have our lamb all seasoned up and it's been marinating and we have covered the ends of our lolly sticks with foil, we're gonna go ahead and sear it for about 2 minutes on each side just to get it browned. And I like to have a little bit of that crunch to it when I bite into it, and that happens from searing it on top of the stove. So about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. So now I'm just collecting a little bit of the garlic and seasonings from the bottom of the pan just to add. And then we're gonna go ahead and put our rack of lamb in our roasting dish, fat side up. Again, this creates a lot of juices, and that's what's gonna make our lamb really tender. I'm gonna cook it at 400 for about 10 minutes. If you like your lamb rare, you wanna go ahead and take it out at the 10-minute mark. If you like it medium, you wanna go ahead and bring your oven down to about 300 and let it roast for about 10 more minutes. And if you like it well done, then you wanna crank that up to about 20 minutes. All right, so our lamb is done. The important step here is to make sure we give our lamb ample enough time to cool. I let it cool for about 10 to 15 minutes, primarily because we had to take those foil things off and you don't want to burn your hands, but also because it gives you an easier way to carve into the lamb if you want to make traditional lamb lollies like I have done. These can be served appetizer style, or if you want to serve a whole rack, quarter rack of lamb, you can do that as well, depending on what you want to do. So this is Easter Rack of Lamb. I'm Caressa Jackson for Heart of the Home. Come and get it.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafarmbureau.org.
We all want healthy rivers and streams, but we can't do that without help from Virginia's landowners. Resource Management Plans, or RMPs, are part of a voluntary program that helps farmers get credit for cleaning up our waters. And once you have an RMP, you are exempt from any new water quality requirements for 9 years. The Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation has funds available to help you implement these plans. Contact the department today to learn more. Thank you.
This message sponsored by Virginia's agriculture community.
Hands-on learning, learning by doing, and real-life experiences are all words used to describe a new vocational agricultural curriculum in Giles County. As Norm Hyde reports, the Land Lab is a new twist on a traditional curriculum.
After years of decline, vocational agriculture classes are again becoming more popular in many Virginia school systems. A number of high schools have a greenhouse operation or raise small farm animals like goats. Only 3 systems in Virginia offer students a chance to work with real cattle on a working farm. One of those is the Giles County Land Lab.
Why not? You know, we've got the support, and everybody's real familiar with them. I mean, they're not a foreign entity here. We definitely know how to handle them.
There's still a very strong tradition of cattle farming in this mountainous county, and the school board and board of supervisors strongly support the Land Lab. The county donated the land to the school system, and local farmers have donated cattle, hay, and their expertise to the operation. They really want to encourage the next generation to stay on the farm.
But definitely, we'd like to have younger people in the community take over the reins. You know, right now I think the average age of a farmer is about 58 years old. You know, we'd like to see that you come out of college, get a business degree, and go into agriculture and learn how to run a farm profitable and make it work.
Working at the Land Lab offers students a true hands-on experience, everything from building fences to feeding the 9 heifers and 1 bull on the property.
This is 100% hands-on. The kids will be involved immensely, not only with the cattle, but with the planting, harvesting of marketable crops.
Future plans for the Land Lab include the raising of fruit trees and vegetable crops, as well as offering forestry activities. There may even be a chance to practice running heavy machinery. The students appreciate this opportunity to put their classroom learning to use right away.
Like, for instance, the fence right here behind us, we're going to be doing, like, the agriculture students will be helping out with everyone, like putting up the fence so that way we can rotate pastures, and then we're going to be doing a lot where we can easily get the cows in and out for vaccinations. And since we've got 9 heifers, it's an easy access to come in and help them with calving if they have any trouble.
I like it because you sit in the classroom and you go through all these lectures and you don't know what, you know, you go, okay, it's a protocol to do that, you know. Well, good, but you don't know how well it works until you actually do it hands-on.
It's close by, so we get more fence building than staying in the shop and staying in classrooms. We can work with the cows and feed them. It's something to look forward to every day instead of just sitting in classrooms and listening to a teacher.
But if you think the kids are just having fun outside, rest assured, all these activities are reinforcing their lessons under the state standards of learning. So it's the best of both worlds.
What is the purpose of what they're doing in a classroom if they can't use it in the real world? And that's what we're doing here, is the real world. So scientifically, you have plant life cycles happening out here. You have animal life cycles happening out here. You have measuring, geometry, algebra, all things that they're using on a daily basis to build structures, plan out land use, take care of their animals or the plants that they have.
For example, all of our agriculture classes have what are called competencies that are developed by the state. And in those competencies are also linked to SOL learning in the classroom. So when they're able to take all of that information and not only link it to their SOLs, but also apply what they've learned, it's a win-win for everyone across the board.
Woods and Gentry say local farmers are already asking how the cattle are doing this spring, and they expect to have some interested visitors to the Land Lab once calving season begins. And both of them are glad to see how much the community supports the next generation of Virginia farmers. In Giles County, Virginia, I'm Norm Hyde.
That's going to do it for this edition of Real Virginia. We're so glad you could join us to celebrate the bounty Virginia has to offer. Whether it's in your home, your garden, or your landscape, we're proud to say that this is Real Virginia. So for everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a good week.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia.